What is up, everyone? Good morning. I just went out, got the chickens out, went and checked on. I started trying to plant some persimmons seeds and things like that since it's winter, and see if those will pop up later on in the next few years. We'll see what happens. I just go and plant seeds. Anyway, good morning. Wanted to do this video. The last video I was talking about just getting started. There are three tips that I wanted to do to share with you to get started in business. And now, it's kind of weird talking about this, now that I have 40 people working for me overseas, and that's continuing to grow, and it's a completely different business than when I first started. A lot of the stuff that I shared in that last video is extremely important, stuff that I wish I would have completely focused on, because I would have been in an even better place than I am now, and I want you to be in a better place than I am now. So I want you to go faster, I want you to grow faster, I want you to do things better than I ever did. But one of the biggest problems that we all face when we're first starting a business, especially as a dad, is, I have 7 kids. I'm supporting an entire family just on the income that I make on my business, and wasn't always the case, but that's the way it is right now. But seven kids is not easy to support, just on one income. And so here's the deal: is figuring out how can you utilize the tools that you have right now, the skills that you have right now to build your business, right? And what is that business going to be? A lot of times we get stuck in just the idea of what am I going to do? Like, what can I even do business-wise? It's not like as if I can just go, hey, go give me some money, right? What am I going to do business-wise that's going to bring income for my family, especially if your wife wants to stay at home, or your kids are going to college or growing up or whatever? What can we do? So here are the 5 ideas that came up to mind. These are ideas that I have done or very close friends have done successfully, and they've been relatively easy. Okay. So one big caveat with this is I try and focus as much as I can on either one of 2 things. One, something that's online, if you can get it online in some fashion or another. And 2, if it's not online, it's something that can be much more easily scalable. You get people out there saying, hey, start your blog, and start doing content and things like that. And it's around your personality. But what happens? What happens when you get sick and you can't blog anymore, or you get sick and you can't do YouTube videos anymore, or do content? Or if you're the consultant, you're the person who want to avoid that, especially if you have a family, you want to be that family to be supported by what you're doing constantly and consistently, right? All right. So all that being said, let's get into this. I'm going to try and do this with my live tool so I can take these titles away. So idea number 1, WordPress sites for local businesses. Okay. So why do I say WordPress sites for local businesses? Well, so back in the day, I started off doing IT. I started off doing fixing people's computers at their house. I was making, I remember this one lady. She was super nice, so nice. So I was advertising on Craigslist saying, "Hey, I will give you a free phone call. I'll solve your computer problem over the phone. And if I can do it over the phone, I'll do it for free. If I can't, then it'll be like $50 or something like that. I forgot. But I the first phone call I got was this old lady, and she's all, oh yeah, I can't find the any key or something. It was something really just. It was something really dumb. So I actually helped her out really quickly. She's like, oh, okay, thank you. And I was like, okay, that was kind of a waste of time. That kind of sucked. And then the next lady was this one. It was this one lady who was, I believe she was a stay-at-home mom. And so so anyway, she had a whole bunch of viruses on her computer. So I went over there and I went and started doing things to take all of the viruses out. And man, these things were was not happening. I was there for hours, and I was going to charge her $50 or something like that. Something crazy, but I was there for hours. I actually ended up taking her computer to my house to my house, fixing it there, bringing it back the next day. And she ended up giving me $100 because of how nice she was and how bad she felt of what I was, of me fixing the computer. Well, the thing that I very quickly found out, because I was like, hey, I'm going to do this for homes. This sucks. I don't like this because it's super, I don't get paid much. Then I started going to business, doing IT for business, and the same thing. I was getting stuck. So immediately I was like, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to do something like web development or something like that. But the problem with web development is that you need to know how to code, right? Well, this is where we get to WordPress, right? A lot of the times, so with WordPress, I was doing it when it was relatively unpopular. It wasn't as popular. But people still today, as they did close to 10 years ago, people today still believe that in order to create a website, you have to be this master coder, that you actually have to custom code these websites, right? They still have that idea. And so what you can do, and this is what I did, was I would take these WordPress themes, modify them, and sell them. Right, so you can do this for $500. You can do it for $1,000. You can do it for $2,000, $10,000. I've done it all the way up. The most expensive one that I've sold was $10,000. That was more of a custom one later on, anyway. But there's been some where it's been like $5,000. But I gave them what they wanted, and it worked really well for them. They actually ended up getting a lot of leads and stuff like that for their business. But the beauty of it is WordPress is pretty much point and click, right? You have a whole bunch of themes. You can actually frame it where, hold on one second. Can I pause this? I don't think so. Hold on. Crazy. Saw one of my kids out there doing something. Anyway, so you can actually very quickly frame it and say, hey, here are your choices of the different styles that you can use. And then you go create a logo on Fiverr or on 99 Designs or something like that. Modify some things, add their pictures, teach them how to do the blog and everything like that. And you have a fully fledged business where you can make, think of it, if you had five people, you had 5 customers a month with that, and say you were charging $2,000 per site, it's $10,000 per month, right? So that is a very lucrative opportunity, and I usually just go to different, the way that I would find customers were Chamber of Commerce, places like that, right? So do some networking that way. So number 2, drop shipping on Amazon. This is something that I taught way back in the day. Not way back in the day. It was 2014, 15, 16, something like that. But I no longer teach it anymore. So you can go to the there's actually a video on this channel that shows you how to find suppliers for drop shipping on Amazon. And what I mean is there's 2 types of drop shipping on Amazon. There's the right way and the wrong way. The wrong way is trying to take something from Walmart or eBay or some place where you're just buying it retail, essentially, and then flipping it on Amazon. So what is drop shipping? If you don't know what drop shipping is, drop shipping is where Drop shipping is where you're not holding the inventory. You're almost like a broker in between people. So someone buys, say, a sweater that they see on Amazon. You go to this sweater company that's your supplier. You say, hey, this person just bought. Can you send this to them? So you're never holding any inventory. You're literally just kind of go-between person. So a lot of people try and do this with Walmart, Target, Kmart, so on and so forth, but Amazon does not like that. And you will get banned from Amazon very quickly and never be able to sell again. Okay, so that's the wrong way to do it. The right way to do it is actually to go find wholesale suppliers, people who will sell things to you on wholesale. And it's very easy to do. It's very easy to do. There's another video on how to do this. It takes you step by step through the process. I might even put this link in the description at some point. Probably not. I'm too lazy. I just want to share. Anyway, But if you go and search for Amazon Dropshipping Online Empire Academy, you'll see that there. The cool thing is so here's essentially how you do it is you go and find a niche, go and Google a niche that you like, and in the Google term, you type in, say it might be like gas-powered roller skates, and then in quotes, you say become a dealer. So quote in quotes, do become a dealer. And what happens is it's good. Amazon or Google's going to show you all of the search results that have the phrase become a dealer on there. You click that, you email them, or you can click that, you email them, you call them, you sometimes they have forms. Whatever you do, if you send 10 of those, more than likely 1 or 2 are going to say yes. Yes, you can become a dealer. Now you have a wholesale account. You can drop ship. You can sell that, resell it in other fashions. You can buy a bulk if you want and resell it, whatever it is. But the cool thing is now you have an actual supplier to sell things, whether it's on Amazon or your site. And it's a very, very powerful and lucrative thing. Okay. So idea number three is resell thrift items on Amazon. Back when I first started doing, I said, look, for me, I do not like selling products. I am a service guy. But one of the cool things was, in my area, there were a lot of thrift stores, and not just Goodwill, not just Salvation Army, not just these big, huge places, but if you live in a relatively big city that is wealthy, relatively wealthy, and what I mean is like Orange County, Los Angeles, New York. It can be Portland, Oregon. It could be anywhere where it's a relatively big city. People give away so many things that are extremely valuable. And so I remember there was a couple of things. One, I was at this one thrift store. I forgot what it was called. It was like something from the heart or something like that. I don't remember. But you take the Amazon app, and I was scanning a couple of different things. So I like to scan toys that are still in their boxes, like things that look interesting. But they had the original Bop It. So if you remember, there's a Bop It toy. It's all bop it, squeeze it, smack it, flip it, whatever it is. It's just this punch it. And it was the original one, still sealed in its packaging. Still perfectly sealed in its packaging. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And they were selling it for, I want to say it was $10. It was $7 or $10 or something like that. So I scanned it with so when you scan it with the Amazon app, it will tell you what it's selling on Amazon. It was selling for $140, and it was selling very quickly. So I took that thing, I listed it on Amazon, and literally, boom, it was like within like an hour, boom, sold. And that's it. Like, it's crazy. Other things, the cool thing is when you get used to this stuff, you'll see market trends. I even ended up, so back, I want to say 3-4 years ago, I don't know if you remember, Hostess said they were going out of business. And so what happened? Twinkies became the friggin' the Bitcoin of desserts, right? So if you could get your hands on some Twinkies, literally you could sell them for, so I found the last box of Twinkies. The guy at the liquor store sold them to me. It was a big box. He sold them to me for like $5. And I was selling them so it wasn't just the last box. It was I think it was a couple of boxes. Anyway, it might have been one. But he sold me the Twinkies. I sold those things for like $40, and they just went boom. Twinkies. I want to say they went to Minnesota in the middle of winter too. It was crazy. So you start seeing things like that, and it opens up a lot of opportunities, a lot of other possibilities. So reselling thrift items on Amazon, for me, I look at the things that are still sealed. If you go to a thrift store, I like looking at things that are still sealed. Like I found these I forgot what they were. It was like Dungeon and Dragons cards or something like that. They were still sealed, and they went for about $150. I got them for like $4. But I like going and finding sealed board games, fully sealed board games, different toys, sometimes CDs, sometimes DVDs, depending on what they are. You can't really sell DVDs and CDs without authorization, but there are certain things you can sell without getting approved. And the more you can, the better. Okay? So, moving on. Idea number 4, create a retainer service. So one of the things that I learned, one of the things that was really cool during the time of doing IT work was creating a retainer service. And what does that mean? Most IT people will do work on an as-needed basis and charge on an as-needed basis. But the problem is, what happens? Your economy, your income goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's no good, right? That's not good. You want to have a steady economy, right? You want your family to always be able to rely on something. So back when I was doing the IT service, I stumbled on this because I was like, man, it sucks. I'm doing really well one day, and then the next day or the next week, I'm sucking it up, right? And so it forced me to figure out, how the heck am I going to do this? So there's one company. They were a silk screening t-shirt company, and they needed some IT work, and they needed a lot of IT work. And so rather than what are they doing out there? Anyway, rather than just saying, yeah, sure, I'll come and fix whatever, I was like, $2,500. So my target was $1,500, by the way, per month. And I'll come have a service level agreement and so on and so forth, where if something happens, I'll be there at a certain time. But $2,500 a month, which you think about it, it's $30,000. So you get to pay an IT guy $30,000 a year? No. But so $2,500 a month. They agreed down to $1,500, which was what I actually wanted, and I had a steady income every month from it. And so whether or not they had a lot or they had a little, it didn't really matter. It was just they knew that I was always there and available to be there on call, right? Huge thing. It allows you to create a steady income. So like for the other businesses that I have, like the virtual systems architects and so on, which is another business that I have, that is a retainer service as well. So every month, the clients know exactly how much they're going to pay. And every month, if they don't pay it, then they lose the entire service, right? Whether they use 1 hour of the service or 40 hours of the service, they are paying that every month. And it's on them to actually use it, right? So create a retainer service. Hold on one second. Cool. All right, so, and the last and final idea is create a middleman service. Now, this is what my business runs on right now, where we have these really specialized people overseas who can create systems and documentation and actually do things for different businesses that these businesses could theoretically go and make that service themselves and create, or go and find people overseas themselves, train them, hire them. No, let me go through the entire thing. This is why the middleman service works really, really well. So they have to find the source of where they're going to get these people from in the first place, right? So finding the source of where they're going to get these people from in the first place. Going through all of these people's resumes, once they go through hiring the person, hopefully you hire the right person, training the person to do systems documentation and processes and things like that. Now on top of that, hopefully that person is good. If they stay, you don't have to do that all over again. If you do, if they do leave, so if they stay, that's great. They're good, but you still have to continually train them and yada 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 yada. If they leave, you're screwed. Now you have to do it all over again. A lot of companies, they spend 3 to 6 months to find people overseas, trying to find people and hire them and so on and so forth. And 3 to 6 months go by and they have to do it all over again because the person's not a good fit or they don't work out and so on and so forth. So they can find a cheaper option. They can do all of that themselves, but why do that when they can have somebody else there that can do it for them and manage? And if something were to happen, boom, they can get someone new right away, things like that. That's why they go for the middleman service, where I'm the middleman. I train, like we go through 200 to 300 different applicants for our system that go through our system, and just to find 1 or 2 good people for businesses, right? And that's something that a business is just not going to do, because this is our business. We're able to focus on that, right? So then on top of that, we train them, we go through all this stuff, and so by the time they get to the actual business, boom, they're ready to go. And they're like top 1% of top 1%, right? So for them, it's just they press a button, pay Dean, every month, pay Dean, and cool, I get results. So the more that you can create a middleman service, the better. The more that you can create a middleman service, the better. There are a lot of people who do this where, say somebody does need a website, where they need marketing. A great example of this is Design Pickle. Design Pickle does this where they have cheap design where you pay month to month and you can have unlimited designs. But they source the designers, they source all the people, and the designers work hand in hand with you and so on to do your logo but the person who created it had just sourced the person, put the systems in place, and now he just sees the interaction and the transactions go back and forth, right? So if you can create a middleman service, this usually comes out of, it's very hard to create these from the beginning, but because these usually come out of a necessity. This comes out of you doing something, right? Maybe you're selling, hamburger. You're selling a book on how to create the best 100% all beef hamburger that nobody else can do, right? Well, at some point in time, you start seeing, well, a lot of restaurants would just pay me to have all of that done. So maybe I can just be the middleman between the farmers and the chefs and so on that can create this on this side, and then I just have them delivered to the restaurant. I don't know. That's not a really good idea. But a lot of the times it comes through necessity. Rather you having to do it, you're like, or them having to do and hire people. So say like paralegals, paralegal services where it's like on demand. It's you pay, $20 a month and you have paralegal services. But you're the one who sourced all the people who are willing to do it on this side. And now you're just getting clients and you're kind of the go-between, right? And no matter what, they get a certain amount of credits that they can use or something like that, right? So creating a middleman service extremely lucrative and works out really, really, really well if you can pull it off. So those are just things that have worked out really well for me, have worked out really well for other business owners that I know and friends that I know. And here's the most important thing. You can go through all because I was in the same boat 10 years ago. I was in the exact same boat, right? You can go and say, I need to get this perfect idea. I need to get I need to find really what my market wants and yada, yada, yada. The easiest, most effective way of finding your idea is going out and trying to sell something. If you are technical at all, go do some IT work. If you are a design person, like you do well with interior design and you're like, I just don't know what to do. Go and help someone with their house, to redesign their kitchen. Right, a lot of famous Instagram bloggers, people who are famous on Instagram, started off that way, where they did that and then they started just evolving, because the faster you start doing stuff, the more needs you will see. So like for my business, my main business came from my systems consulting. I was getting paid $20,000, $15,000, $25,000 a month for systems consulting and helping businesses automate their systems. And the virtual systems architect stuff, the middleman stuff, actually came from that. I would not have figured out what my main business is now, where I can work 4 hours a month. I would not have figured that out if it wasn't for the systems consulting. And the systems consulting came as a result of Amazon dropshipping. No joke, because someone was like, how in the heck are you basically doing zero work and making money on Amazon? I was doing like $300,000-$400,000 in gross revenue on Amazon dropshipping. And I showed him, and he's like, your calendar is like not full at all. What the heck? Well, it's because I am systemizing everything. And he's like, well, can you teach me how to do that? And so he started paying me, and then he started getting others to pay me over in different areas of the world. And then that turned into what it is now. And then the Amazon dropshipping, came as a result of me doing the WordPress websites and understanding how to market things with webinars and everything like that, because I was helping an Amazon company teach people how to sell on Amazon. And then I learned how to sell on Amazon, and I was like, hey, well, maybe we can do this drop shipping thing, right? Maybe I can drop ship on Amazon, because I don't like having inventory, and I don't like doing Amazon fulfillment by Amazon. And so I figured out, hey, I think we can drop ship. And I started drop shipping because of that. And the Amazon, so in helping the Amazon stuff and doing all the words, like if you keep on going back and back and back, doing the WordPress websites, because I was doing IT work and I did not want to be stuck doing it physically. So I'm like, let me figure out how to do this online. So all of that came as a result. So IT work led to WordPress websites. WordPress websites led to online marketing. Online marketing led to Amazon dropshipping. Amazon dropshipping led to systems consulting. Systems consulting, which I still do, on top of, led to my virtual system architect agency at Prosulum, right? At prosulum.com, prosulum.com. Led to that. And that's what sustains my family to this day, right? So the biggest thing is getting started on something, because it will lead to the next and to the next and to the next and to the next. And eventually you're going to find your passion, because I found my passion finally, and it only took 10 years, right? I was getting paid during that time. Of course, I didn't leave my job for the first 5 years. The first 5 years I had my full-time job. But get out there. You can do it. You can do it. The biggest difference between people who are successful on their own, dads who have started a successful business, is whether or not you have the guts to go out and actually start doing something and getting real results, real data. Not just, oh, I have this idea, and now I need to go and set up a LLC, and now I need to go and get a non-disclosure agreements for this thing, and now I need to go patent this thing, and then patent that thing, and then get copyrights on this, and then 3 years later, find out that it sucks, and find out that nobody wants it, right? I can't tell you how many people were like, oh, I have this amazing idea, but I can't tell you yet. I can't tell you because you might steal it and blah, 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 blah. In fact, there's one guy from Boeing who did that when I left, and I think he finally launched his thing, and from what I can tell, it was a flop. And that was almost 5 years ago, right? So you just got to do it. You just got to get out there and start doing something. You'll find that well, as soon as you start doing something and trying to sell something, try to sell whatever it is, your skill right now, you're going to start finding inspiration and inspiration and inspiration. And it'll grow and it'll build on top of each other. So the biggest idea that I can give you, the number one idea that I can give you is just to freaking go do it. Okay. You're skilled at something right now. Go try and sell that skill. You're skilled at something right now. Go and try to sell that skill. What else do you want? All right. I can give you 50 ideas and you go, wow, cool. That was a great video, Dean. Oh my gosh, so wonderful. And then 5 years later, you're still friggin' playing Candy Crush or some stupid game on Facebook. All right. Just go do it. Go do something. Go try and sell something right now for $50. The more that you do that, the more you're going to learn, the more that you're going to get closer to your passion. So, all right, this is Dean Soto. I'll catch you in the next video. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what other ideas that you guys have for starting a business. Any comments, questions? I'm going to be doing a lot more of these as they continue to as I continue to do these, and you're going to love it. It's going to be some good stuff. Just sharing as much as I possibly can with you to give back. So, all right, see you later on the next video.